what does Live for the Troops mean, first of all?
Well, Live for the Troops. This happened clear back in August of last year. And a friend of ours that had heard us play at the bicycle rally here in Portland does this. He's retired. His name is Mark Candianis. And he's a retired fisherman. So all he does really is rebuild old World War II vintage airplanes, hangs kind of with that crowd, and raises money for things like the USO, for families of troops, families, you know, folks that are coming back from war zones.
Yeah.
And that's his penchant. That's what he does. He's a philanthropist, and just a really great guy. So we do this show for him on the Olympia tarmac there up at one of the airports, and ouch,
oops,
bushes eat me.
Oh.
And we had no idea what was going on when we showed up.
Feed me! Feed me now!
Feed me! I had no idea what it was about, other than it was kind of high security because they needed to know, you know, about us before we went on base.
Yeah.
So we get on base and we notice there's armed individuals hanging around, and it's secure. It's kind of real secure. But he had spared no expense in setting up a really nice stage for us, sitting outside of a hangar. And once we got up and started playing at this thing, it was really quite amazing. The crowd was all out looking at the vintage airplanes and walking around on the tarmac, so we didn't really have a crowd in front of us. Every once in a while a plane or a helicopter or something would take off. But the stage sounded recording studio quality. So we were in heaven. And we just kind of played what we, you know, did what we did and enjoyed performing. And after all was said and done, I mean, they made a little presentation and they gave me a sort of little medal deal and recognized that I was a combat veteran from the Vietnam era and knew more about my military history than I had divulged even to my family.
Wow.
So that sort of set me back on my heels a little bit. I'm going, I'm thinking, wow. So I was honored. I was really honored to do it. We got home and
was the audience military people?
No, they were just all folks from in and around Olympia that had come to attend the event, and you know, it was a fundraiser for I think Madigan Foundation and Homes for Heroes.
Okay,
a couple of those groups. We didn't really know that we were being recorded until about the third set, and then we thought, well, you know, what's it going to be? We didn't know until we started getting MP3s in the emails from this fellow by the name of Vic Smith, and it sounded great. So after about 3 weeks of this, we put our heads together with Mark and thought, maybe we should come up and maybe do a little mixing and see if we actually have a product. So the idea was we were going to mix it down, put it on a CD, and use that to sell to create more money for the USO. Everybody chipped in. The band was all, you know, everybody said, yeah, we'd love to be a part of this. So when the CD came out, we were trying to release it by December 16th. And it was just nutty to try and get that done. So instead we released a smaller CD that's, I think you may have that, the Live in Olympia limited edition. But eventually we got the full meal deal going, and it's called, you know, Live for the Troops. And as soon as that came out, and I think that was January or February, Mark started letting the folks know on Fort Lewis Joint McChord Air Base up there what was going on, and boxes of it started heading over to Afghanistan and forward operating positions and you know, all over the place, even on the East Coast. And we had not yet released the thing here in Portland. So now, this weekend, Sunday, we're going to release it at Pearson Airport. We couldn't find a place that was suitable.
What is Pearson Airport?
Pearson is an air museum that features some really great rebuilt, refurbished aircraft. Plus, they have a really nice little flight training center there for for anyone who wants to learn how to fly, and it's like a 30-station computer-driven thing with the yokes and all that.
So what does it mean to you to be able to do this?
Well, it's finally given me an opportunity to give some back to my brothers in the field. I always sort of featured that someday I'd be a little bit more well-to-do than I am now. But as it happens...
You're a musician. What are you talking about?
I'm a musician, and that never really happened. And my plans of being a little bit more philanthropical sort of fell through. But Mark came along now, and he's given myself, us, and the band an opportunity to do something like this. And it just doesn't come around very often. So I'm in, I'm into this. And
one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was, of course, there's a lot of New Orleans on here.
Yeah.
Of course, we expect that. But that tune, Hang Tough, hardly anybody knows that tune. I have that album, Crescent City All-Stars.
Oh my gosh.
And that song has meant so much to me over the years. And then I look and go, wow. I mean...
it made sense.
Yeah. And then there's a painting here that's related to that.
John D. Shaw did the painting, and I believe those are Koreans, soldiers from the Korean War.
That's the one inside.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when you lift the CD out.
Yeah.
It's in there.
Yeah.
And boy, John was hard to reach, but he did eventually give us permission to use it. And I don't know, it said everything about Hang Tough. Now, the original guys that wrote the song and performed it, I believe it was Toussaint, parts of the Meters.
Earl Palmer.
Yeah. All these guys. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they had something along the same lines.
Yeah. Well, it's universal.
It is. It's universal.
It really is universal. And that last line is just a killer. It's a killer. I mean, if that doesn't make you cry, there's something wrong with you.
It's one of the few tunes we do where Peter Damon sings.
Really?
And does a great job.
Wow.
Yeah, he's the alternate voice on all those. And he's got a good voice.
Yeah.
So that was really a fun tune to do.
Before I let you go, I got to ask you about Curtis Salgado showing up at your gig.
Oh, yeah. That was just amazing, we forgot that it was the Olympics night at Duff's. And so we had a kind of a sparse crowd. But in comes Curtis. And I guess it was his first gig out of the hospital.
Yeah.
And he was really
9 days.
Real anxious to see, of course, if his products were still in good shape.
Yeah.
And so it was the last set. He got up and blew harp on a few things.
Yeah.
And then said, well, let's try singing.
Wow.
So
what did he
did the whole last set. He did a B.B. King groove.
Yeah.
He sang with me on Blind, Crippled, and Crazy, the O.V. Wright tune.
Yeah.
Man, he's all there.
Is that right?
Oh, my gosh. The guy's voice is amazing to begin with.
Wow.
And I'm not a doctor, but I would guess that all the years of building these intercostal muscles that support all this around your lungs, the lungs end up not being, and of course they're important, but it's the musculature that really, and the experience of how to use it that makes him the great singer.
Well, that must have been an amazing experience. 9
It really
days.
was.
9 days out of surgery, man walks in and sings.
I was really honored.
Yeah.
I was really honored.